welcome to my channel. This is Cynthia Mountain Accents. Where have I been? I have missed I guess the past couple of Fridays, and I've caught COVID and have been feeling poorly, and so I'm just now getting to share or talk about one of my makes from January. And before I do that, I apologize if there's too much background noise. I'm trying to film this outside because it's actually comfortable now. It was cool this morning, but it's comfortable outside, but I can tell there's other people out enjoying the nice weather while we have it. But I made the Closet Core Morgan boyfriend jeans. This is my second time making this pattern. And I actually have one of the older patterns because it has the old name Closet Case, but they are Closet Core patterns. And the printed pattern goes from a size 0 to 20, which is a waist of 24 inches up to a waist of 39 inches, hip of 33 inches to a hip of 48 inches. But I do know in the PDF version they have this same size range, as well as I think it's a 14 to 32, which I don't know what that is the equivalent of to, but they do have the expanded size range in PDF. So this pattern is for a non-stretch denim or heavier weight like twill canvas, and then you use cotton lining for the waistband and the pockets. It has a button fly, and so it does require some jeans buttons and optional rivets, which I did not put rivets on either pair that I made. And let me tell you a little bit about how they describe it on their website. They said that the Morgan jeans is to fit, they fit a little bit on the slimmer side. That non-stretch fabric does stretch considerably with wear, and that is true. I have found that is true. And that the final waist measurement is several inches larger than your actual waist measurement because it sits several inches below your narrow natural waist. And that is also true. Now, I didn't, let me go get my first pair. I should have been more prepared, but I meant to grab them and I forgot. But this is my first pair, and they're made in I can't remember if they call this an olive khaki twill fabric, but I purchased this from the sewing studio in Portland, Oregon. Ordered it online, and then I've lined the waistband and have made my pocket bags with just some cotton fabric I got at Joann Fabrics. I made these in 2021. Now I've closed my book and my notes, and I don't remember exactly when I made them, but I look back and I'm going to insert a picture of, but I believe I made these in early 2021. It might have been late 2020, but I wore them hiking, I know, in May of 2021. I'll insert a picture from that. It's got with my husband and my dog Pepper, and we went for a hike up on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And so I did make a mistake with this particular pair, and I'll tell you what I did that I wish I hadn't have done. But I made a straight size 14, even though with my measurements at the time that I made these, my bust was in a 14, my waist was 16, and my hips was fit more closely with the 14, or between a 12 and a 14, but I went straight 14. And I was very happy with the fit, and they still fit really well. But it was when I came to hem them that I actually, they're fairly long, and I cut them before I hem, because I thought when I tried them on, I thought they were too long. But then I found when I was wearing them and I'd be out hiking, if I sat down or anything, they would rise too much on my ankle. So I turned around, and much later I took my stitches out, lowered the hem, and I basically went back and just serged it and turned it up one time instead of doing a double hem, because I was trying to add back some length. These are super comfortable to wear. They were actually a little baggy when I first made them back then, because I was smaller than I am now. But with the darker denim jeans that I'm made in January, and I'm wearing them currently right now, I went with the same size because I had cut my pattern, but I did make a couple adjustments to just because of carrying a little extra weight. So let me look at my notes again to see. Yeah, so this second pair I made in your standard weight, mid-weight, heavyweight denim, which I'm not sure if these are 10, 11, or 12 ounce denim. And I don't recall for sure where I purchased it, but I think that I got this fabric from either LA Finch Fabrics or Cali Fabrics. But I want to say I got them from Cali Fabrics. And it's, I don't know if you can tell, it's the dark, it's either a dark indigo, it's not black. You know, they kind of look like black, but it's not black. Denim. And I sewed these up pretty much the same way as the others, but when I went to do my final fit before I added the waistband, I realized that since I had gained that, I needed just a little bit extra room through the waist and the hip. So I removed the stitching from my side seams and went with a smaller seam allowance, and then attached the waistband. And I'm going to check my book here, but I think the seam allowance on this pattern is 5/8 inch. And I thought I had written that out down on my notes, but I didn't. Oh, and in their book, they also say that if you're between sizes, they actually recommend you go up a size, but I didn't do that. I went basically for the size that kind of fell in the middle, or went down actually, and I think that's fine. But I did make adjustments to that side seam, and yep, seam allowances are 5/8 inch. So on this, my legs, I think when I unpicked everything and redid the side seams, I did a 3/8 inch. And then on the waistband, I added an extra, I don't know, maybe inch on each side, but then I ended up trimming all that off. So I really essentially didn't add extra on. I basically, once I sewed it on, I had it extend on each side. I cut off the excess and stitched it down, but I just wanted to make sure that they fit. And this is rated an advanced pattern, and at the time that I made my first pair, I was still very much a beginner. And I have made my son 2 pair of jeans, and then I made the pair that I'm wearing today, and that is my 4th pair of jeans. So I feel like I have a little bit more experience under my belt, but I still wouldn't consider myself an advanced sewist. I'd say more intermediate. But the thing that I find with sewing jeans, I guess getting the fit may be tricky, but I was fortunate that these fit me pretty much out of the packet with just those few little tweaks. But if you break down this pattern in smaller steps and you follow they have excellent instructions in their booklet, and I really enjoy the process of making jeans, because you first start with doing your prep work on your back pockets and your little coin pocket, because this is a traditional 5-pocket jean, and then you're attaching your little coin pocket to the front pockets and assembling the front pocket. And with closet core patterns, like I said, they have excellent instructions that walks you through each step of how to create that pocket. And I didn't do any top stitching, but this getting all this turned and like clipped and understitched and then top stitched, it just works out so well. It's very simple to follow. Now in this particular pair, for my waistband lining fabric and my pocket line, which I did show I think in a previous video, just a sneak peek right before I got finished, it was a blue paisley that was almost looked the same on both sides. It was just slightly lighter on the other side, so I had to just make sure that I kept straight which was my front, which was the back of the piece of fabric, or right or wrong side of the fabric. And then when you come to inserting the button fly, it's funny, in all the pants that I've ever made for myself, I've always used a button fly. Now I do have a pants pattern that calls for a zip fly, and I hope to make them. It's not on my make 9 for this year, but I do hope to make them sometime in the near future, and it may be this year or next year. And but like attaching the zip fly for my son's pants, I didn't find it to be difficult. Same thing with the button fly. If you follow the instructions, which are well written, it's not difficult. Now I ordered the jeans button kit from Closet Core. I don't remember if I ordered it from their website or from a different company, but it was the kit that was put together by Closet Core for the hardware that you needed for doing a button fly. And my first pair here has, I can't remember if these are copper or brass, but they look kind of a brass. And you can tell I just hammered them in because I've dented them a little bit. But yeah, they're went in very well. And now the ones that I went with on this denim pair is a nickel colored, and those are easy to install, I guess, if you have the right equipment. I use an awl, I think that AWL awl, to poke my hole, and I insert the back side of the button, and then I put the topper on, and I usually put like I don't think I did on this first pair, but on this one that I'm wearing today, I put a pad on top of that, like can't remember if I used a piece of jersey fabric and folded it a couple times and then hammered it together to protect it. But I think on this pair I just used a hammer straight on the button. But that's, it's unique to me. I mean, I've just did the best I knew how at that time, and I've learned more since then. And so you're going to be learning some new techniques because you're going to be doing several buttons. And when I made my first pair, I used just a really simple Singer machine that it had the buttonhole setting, but you had to know when to stop and start it. Whereas on the pair that I'm wearing now, my machine, it starts and stops when it's completed, so you don't have to guess when or try to figure out if you've sewn the right number of stitches. You're also going to be learning how to do a bar tack, lots of top stitching. I did top stitching, but not with top stitching thread. I just used the Gutermann all-purpose polyester thread because one of these look more streamlined. I'm not a big fan of visible top stitching, but you do a lot of top stitching lines. Just it helps support the seams. Now in making the jeans, you can also do flat felled seams, And I have not mastered flat fill seams. I think I've tried before, but I find that denim sometimes tends to unravel when you're trying to fold it over to create your flat filled seams, and I'm just not good at that. So I just usually serge my seam and then iron it and press. You know, just lots. I press as I go because I think it makes the results of the pattern better. And sewing the seams together, and then also with jeans, for anyone that has not made jeans before, you do a row of stitching from the waist down to below the pocket, and that's another just helping support the jean. And if you've ever looked at ready-to-wear jeans, a lot of them, if they do have the visible top stitching, you'll see that, and it just is an extra support, because you know, like if you're putting your hands in and out of your pockets a lot, it just gives a little extra support. Now let me show you on these jeans, and I have wore these lots, so you'll see what I'm talking about. See how my belt loops kind of looking a little unravelly and just messy, but you'll notice that on the belt loops, yeah, they're looking a little raggedy because I have wore a belt a lot with these, and I've worn them loads, and sometimes when I'm wearing them out in the woods and stuff, and I've hiked in them for a while, I notice that they do get looser, like it says they will get looser as the day goes on, and that's true. And I sometimes have to cinch it in a little bit more with the waist, because they may be snug at the beginning of the day, but then they get looser as the day goes on. And so I do. So that's, and I have a difficult time stitching the belt loops down, even with my better sewing machine on this pair. That was the part that scared me the most, was and just gave me the most I was most frustrated when I attached the belt loops, even though I felt like I did an okay job. Yeah, but I hate doing belt loops. They can be stubborn. And part of it is, if they were wider and you were sewing through that many layers, I don't think it'd be that bad. It's because it's a narrow piece, but it's thick, and so you're going over from like just a thinner layer of fabric, and then you got this bulk, and then you go back to a thinner layer, and getting them. Yeah, it just doesn't want to behave as well. So that is my review of the Closet Core Morgan Boyfriend jeans. If you haven't given the pattern a try and you're scared to make jeans, I urge you to, don't be afraid. If I can make a pair when I barely knew how to use a sewing machine, I'd made very few things at the time that I decided to tackle this. I didn't know that I couldn't do it when I did it, and so I just did it. And I was very happy with those results, and I'm very happy with my new jeans. And I forgot to say, I am just wearing this today with a ready-to-wear top and vest, but I am going to insert pictures from what I'm wearing today. And then I'm going to move on and talk to you about some sewing channels that I've enjoyed watching lately. And I also want to take the time to thank everyone that watches my videos, and I appreciate all of you who subscribe to my channel and that click like and comment. It means a lot to me. And if you're watching, and I notice about half of my viewers actually are not subscribed, I would appreciate it if more of you would subscribe to my channel. But let's get on to who have I been watching. And I want to mention the small sewing channel hashtag. I'm a small sewing channel, and so I would like to think that people are mentioning me and sharing my channel, but I also want to share other small channels. And we got Sam at Sequin Girly Creates, who teamed up with Christine at Gemini Stitches to start this hashtag and talk about other sewing channels and help other people grow. And I recently found Ruth McIntyre, and she's not been her channel's smaller or younger than mine, but I noticed that her numbers have grown substantially. She's got more viewers than I have, but I still want to promote her because I am enjoying her channel. She's close to my age, and I'm enjoying her content. Okay, and then I want to talk about a couple other channels that's been around for a while, but one of them I've been following for a long time, but she's started a new series that I'm really enjoying, and it's at Michelle Sews Again, Michelle at Michelle Sews Again. She is researching indie pattern companies. She's talking about them from A to Z. And I guess I'd say from A to Z. Also, the first episode, she featured the ones that begin with like numbers also, and did the A's. So if you haven't watched that, go check her out. And if I can figure out how to do it, I will link that video down below. And then the other YouTuber that I think she's been around for a while, but I just recently discovered, is at Steph Sewn, and she's also featuring indie designers and doing a series, but she is doing videos about more of, I guess, what I would consider more unknown indie designers from around the world. And she started off, did one that she called like the Swedish edit, and then she did one on the Norway and Denmark edit. And I'm always interested in knowing what pattern designers are out there, and like searching for someone else that I might like to try. And so I enjoyed watching her talk about some of the designers that she has found. So go check her out. And I think that's all I have for you today, and I hope I haven't missed anything, and I hope you've enjoyed my review. But I would definitely give the Morgan jeans 5 stars. Yeah, so I really like the pattern, and I hope you'll be brave enough to try making jeans. Have a wonderful day. Bye.